Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday the 5th of September. So, starting looking at euro dollar, well, euro dollar's put in a bullish pivot swing. Looks like it's got potential to get up to back towards its new monthly pivot there. However, it's just run into its weekly pivot and having a bit of a reaction at the moment. The question is there, really, will it just continue to roll, or will it get a bounce off these key moving averages that are sitting below? Daily pivot's just below there as well, so again may just provide some support. At the moment it's still relatively bullish in that respect, but if you look at the this price action here and the strength of the move as it was pushing up was showing really weakness all the way through there. It took a while before it really has probably rolled, and even some of the earlier moves where it was diverging, it hasn't broken even that yet. So it could just, it hasn't sold off particularly strongly. It could just find a bounce point here and push up, but certainly, well, another indecisive euro really effectively already had such a move during yesterday, but it's got potential, and it's a case of just on the bounce side, if it is going to bounce, we can just simply draw a trend line across the top there and see if it starts breaking those sort of levels. If it doesn't, carries on rolling, well, so be it. So if you want to be catching the upside, now this, as I said, it's just literally, I mean, is this an absolute bottom? My thoughts were a lot of this bouncing would go on and run into resistance, but it's running a little bit earlier than I thought. I thought it might get back to the monthly pivot. It may still do. The pound dollar. Pound again, bullish pivot swing sitting in there, same sort of retrace coming back at the moment. It's so close to that daily 50, you'd think it would have another surge up there just as the euro has the monthly pivot. Bit of a retrace at the moment. Again, not a massive surprise here. Now, if you were looking for good news, if you're anti-Brexit or whatever else, well, once again, the Brexit bills, etc., being kicked out, and effectively the no deal was going to go through as law, and completely tiny negotiations up in impossibility almost, or anything good. So, as I'm resigned to that, for Miko, that's the way it is. So what about the pound? Well, the pound should, on this basis, if it's if no deal was a big threat to the things, we should be seeing a bounce at some point on the pound. That's if people generally believe it. Anyway, sorry, I'll put that to a 60-minute chart. But it's got support just below in its daily pivot, not far off there, so we could see that tested. Again, there was divergence across the highs there into the late evening there, or late evening, well, pretty much 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock time, late evening. So divergence coming through there, which is, yeah, arguably, has it completely worked off? Well, it's working pretty much off at the moment. Daily pivot would be a better bounce area from just technically. Statistically for me, I'd rather see it bounce off that, but if it doesn't, goes from here, we'll see. Again, trend lines, well, the trend line's a bit more dovish in a sense. It's going to be waiting. You may just look at the shorter time frames and see if we get some sort of reversal in if you want the long side there. As I said, with the news there, you would have expected continuation to that upside, but there we are. And with the softening news on Tuesday from the US, it's should all be seeing kickers. We'll see. Dollar yen, well, not doing too much again, still in this chop zone. It did try and push, or it has pushed up through the Asian session, just broken out the weekly range here that we're sitting in, but immediately reacted to that 200. Where to from here? Well, if we see the other currencies strengthen, we could see the yen strengthen, but it may appear that money's just coming out of safety here, or the element of safety, and going back into risk. So risk is back on, as they say, and the yen could continue to that upside for now. Aussie dollar making the best of things. It's probably one of the better movers in a sense. 3 days now it's been running upwards or pushing upwards. The pound, the euro pulling back at the moment. Well, this has been pushing up, and it may be that if you're looking for this, well, again, just be looking at it. Needs to come back to find a bit of support. It could be argued that it's finding support into this trend line that's running across there if you drew one, or the 60-minute 8, etc., and you just need a little trend line across the top there. Already run through its R1, R2 is less likely to be hit, although in the current markets conditions it may do. It's pretty narrow trading, or thin, tight ranges, that's the word I want. Okay, so a bit tight ranges in terms of what's going on, but well, we'll see. That could be push up further. Canadian dollar, well, surprised the markets yesterday. We could see a continuation of this downside, but how long for, we'll see. But yesterday surprised the markets in terms of being a little bit more sticking to plan and not being easily waylaid. As I said in the earlier part of the week, there were so many people calling for the dollar to be sold, the Canadian dollar to be sold. You do have to wonder if they're just for sort of feeding their pockets and getting people to buy the US dollar, sell the CAD. They were buying it. Now they're making their money. Right. Okay. Right, so well, could see a continuation there when it's moved quite so far. You often see it slow up here. It's got daily pivot above. I think it might be a bit of a struggle, but if it breaks through the 60-minute 8, it could be on. Okay, news-wise today, so with the US having a bank holiday on Monday, it means that the ADP non-farm payrolls have slipped back a day, so at 1:15 we've got the non-farms. Manufacturing PMI also, services PMI as it really is for the US, or non-manufacturing, at 3 p.m. We've got MPC speaker at 3:30 for the UK. We've got crude oil inventories. Okay, that's not particularly that much, but we've got a governing council member for Canada speaking at 4:45, which may create a bit of volatility, and SM, the Swiss National Bank chairman, speaking at 5. But really, of all those, maybe the ADP may give us a little kicker, but it's so it's not a great leading indicator one way or the other. So often it's so wrong. So, but maybe the ADP may give us some volatility, but certainly I'd watch out for the services or non-manufacturing PMI there at 3. Okay, that's it for me. Have a great day. Bye for now. Oh, whilst I remember, I almost caught you there. We do have 2 free days in our trading room next week. So if you want to join us for 2 free days, there's a link at the bottom of this email, or if you just watch the video that rolls over afterwards, and you can come and join us for 2 free days on the 11th and 12th of September. Bye for now.